Must be stopped. You and all other school parent groups about the country, and you must stand united on this and stamp out this frightful assassin of our youth.
Recipe for disaster that's fueling outright addiction. Look what they're trying to do. All the delicious flavors of e-cigarettes are poison. Today, right now, it would appear the wildfire of e-cig use among teenagers, high schoolers, middle schoolers has not let up.
Just think if your kid was doing this and winds up with an IQ 10 or 15 points lower than he or she would have had.
They shouldn't be experimenting with the entire American public. What we know is these products are addicting millions of kids.
Dr. Carroll, as principal of the Lakeside High School, did you, during the last 3 months, notice any changes in the demeanor and attitude of your student, William Hopper? Yes, in a number of things. For example, at times disassociation of ideas. In another instance, I happened to attend the recent interscholastic tennis matches. And while Bill Harper had been considered an exceedingly good player, I saw him miss the ball by as much as 3 or 4 feet. This, I understand, could be attributed to the use of
e-cigarettes.
It causes errors in time and space.
No child should be using any tobacco product. We are going to be taking action very soon, enforcement action.
Well, then, although you didn't know to your own knowledge that the defendant was using
e-cigarettes,
did you notice any changes that would lead you to believe, as an educator, that he was under some severe mental strain, which might possibly have been induced by some drug?
One thing I find that, teenagers and college students are interested in, cigarettes and e-cigarettes are kind of like anti-Viagra.
Oh, by the way, Dr. Carroll, 6 months ago, what would have been your opinion regarding the character of my client? He was a fine, upstanding American boy, a good scholar, a good athlete, and representative of the caliber of young men we are proud to graduate from our school.
Well, hello. Hello and welcome. You get Scruffy Patrick tonight. Anyway, How the hell is everybody doing? I see there are people here. Raj is here. Omicidal's here. Dale and Michael are here. Troop is here. How the hell is everybody doing? Because we got some stuff. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna talk about some stuff. But if you didn't know, today in history, in 1933, the first legal beers were sold after 12 years. 12 years of prohibition. So in honor of the lifting of prohibition, I'm going to open a beer myself. So let's have a beverage because we all know when people say no, people will find a way. Oh, shit. Well, I must have been too aggressive with that because as soon as I laid it down or set it down, the beer decided to come out of the bottle. Well, I only lost about this much. See that? I don't know why that would have happened. But anyway, hey, we got some beer on a paper towel now. And I threw it in the can and it made it, so woohoo! But anyway, welcome and hello, and welcome, my fellow vapors. Kevin is here. Kevin said he was going to go reset his router, so hopefully he is not nearly as pixelated as normal. But let's see.
I'm always pixely impaired. I want to start off the show by telling you live with an audience, I will not be here next week.
I won't either. It's my birthday next Friday night.
Genesis is tomorrow.
I will be older. And
I'm
going to go out and have a steak and a couple flights of bourbon.
A couple flights?
Yes.
Flights.
So
I've never heard them
for you illiterate low-class people, a flight...
Thanks for noticing.
A flight is they bring you out a little board that has five little holes in it, and each hole has a finger of bourbon, has a glass with a different bourbon or whiskey. So that is a flight. They also do flights of beer if you have a brewery type restaurant that brews their own beers. You can buy flights of beers. This restaurant that I'm going to for my birthday, they make their own beer as well. So I might have a couple flights of beer as well.
Well, I'm low class, low pollutant, low maintenance.
Troop says that we know what a flight is, but Kevin didn't. Troop.
I don't know what a flight is. I never heard of it. I've never been to a.
I mean, other than being and we know that he doesn't like to fly. So
nope. Hiya, Patrick. How's your week been?
My week is good. I actually, in honor of Prohibition.
I heard. Yeah.
In honor of the end of Prohibition, I got a present this week.
You did.
I got a present this week.
I can't see it.
It says Castle Long Reserve 10th Anniversary Edition, 120 mils. And there's a warning label. See that?
Wow.
So it comes in a big box like this. So my friend Troop arranged for me to be a recipient of a very special package. So
prestigious.
Except these cardboard sleeves they put on the boxes are quite tight.
Damn.
Man, look at this thing. I'm struggling.
While you're struggling, I'm looking at the audience tonight.
We've got the who's who of cool people.
Beautiful people.
Beautiful people. So then it comes in a box.
Yeah.
With gold embossed. Look how nice. It's a blue. It's a beautiful blue. And then you see if I can open it without. You open it And there's
That's
quite
a pint,
sexy,
ain't it?
That's a quite sexy 120 ml bottle of Castle Long Reserve. This is the special 10th anniversary, and I know that if you go to their website, you can purchase this. I wasn't sure that I was going to get it because apparently I'm quite demanding with my nicotine levels, and normally they don't make it in 12 milligram. But this says 12 milligram on the side. So I feel special. So a big thank you to Troop and Jay and all the other people at Five Ponds that are our friends that we know and love.
Thank you, Bill.
Yep. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up tonight was the fact that last week I raised hell and I begged people to go make vape roll videos. And I haven't seen any. That doesn't mean that nobody did it. However, I did just go because I have a 5-minute long My Quit story video.
Yeah.
And I did just retweeted it.
Oh.
So I have, with StreamYard, I can upload a longer video than what Twitter will allow. And it will broadcast it directly to Twitter. So I cheated. I cheated a little bit because I couldn't get my story down to the required number of seconds, so I had to do it a different way.
Wow.
Yeah, there's definitely no gold flakes in that. There is gold embossing on the box though. Gold embossing on the box is quite fancy for us rednecks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is a flight, evidently.
Well, I'm only fancy when it comes to the booze.
Oh.
And we're not going to try to do a flight of whiskey tonight. We used to do that quite regularly, and I'd get.
There was a time.
And then we would end up having drunken and disorderly discussions on the show. So yeah. And since you don't drink, it would just be me being drinking and disorderly myself.
Yeah.
So, what did you do this week, Kev?
I learned that Logan likes biscuits. The word biscuits and pickle.
Biscuits.
Biscuits.
I like biscuits. Pickle. Biscuits and gravy is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world.
He won't.
And I don't even care. I don't even care what kind of gravy it is.
I like gravy.
Yeah, I don't care if it's white gravy or red gravy or tomato gravy. I'll eat biscuits and gravy. Any biscuits and gravy that you put in front of me, I'm going to eat. Maybe with a side of grits.
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't like grits?
I'll eat them. I'm not as fond of those. I like cream of wheat. I'm a cream of wheat guy. Well, there you go. You don't like cream of wheat?
Grits are way better than cream of wheat.
Let's go to the breakfast shaming segment of the show immediately.
I'm not going to even... I don't like to put it, I don't even put cream in my coffee because it just sounds kind of but anyway, you sent me a link, or I saw a link, or we got a link in here.
There's a link somewhere
for an article about the House Oversight Chair demanding, yelling about the over politicization. See, I can't even say that word right. Of the vape regulations.
That's right.
Yeah, over politicization.
That's right.
I like collard greens too, True. I'm a Southern boy. House Oversight Chair wants answers from FDA on politicization of vape regs.
That's
vape regs.
Right now, buddy. Send them over.
Top congressional Republican has a warning for the Biden administration when it comes to regulating e-cigarettes. Don't put politics ahead of science, particularly with American lives at risk. In a letter to FDA Commissioner Robert Califf, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, he's a Republican from Kentucky. He said his committee has deep concerns that the agency has been influenced by political concerns rather than scientific evidence in regulating tobacco and nicotine products. At issue is the agency's Center for Tobacco Products, whose mission is, or critics argue, should be helping Americans stop smoking cigarettes. One strategy is to clear lower risk alternatives like e-cigarettes and vapes for sale in the United States to help adult smokers quit. Instead, Comer wrote, CTP appears to be unable to perform its basic functions and ensure that Americans have access to products that have the potential to lower the rate of smoking-related disease and death.
Really? Huh.
I agree. E-cigarettes first hit the U.S. market in 2006. Comer's letter notes that since 2005, the percentage of adults using nicotine has fallen from 2.9% to 12.5%. Still, there are 30 million adult smokers in the country, and nearly 500,000 Americans die from smoking-related diseases each year. Michael Siegel, our very good friend who I've never met or spoken to other than on Twitter, is a professor of public health and community medicine at Tufts University, said 4 million adult smokers have successfully quit using nicotine because they switched to vaping products. If these products were taken off the market, many of these ex-smokers are going to return to smoking. I probably would. Siegel said, adding regulators, Kevin, I have caught myself several times in the last week or two just really jonesing. Like I could go to the convenience store, buy a pack of cigarettes. It wouldn't hurt nobody. It would be okay. Just one pack. That's all I need is one.
Right. Yep.
That thought just itching in the back of the head. It's still there, man. I'm telling you.
I've had it a couple times over the past 10 years, but not strong enough to do so.
No, I agree. I didn't do so either, but the itch was there.
Yes, no, I get it. I get it.
And that's why I bumped myself up to 18 milligram for a day, and then I felt much better. Yeah. Siegel said regulators may be reacting to pressures from organizations who's adamantly opposed to vaping. Their beliefs aren't informed by the science, but by hysteria. There's no evidence that vaping causes kids to start smoking or causes harm. The idea we're introducing a new generation of kids to pick up a pack of cigarettes is simply not borne out by the science. Skip Murray, a research fellow for the Taxpayers Protection Alliance Consumer Center, said the CTP has been under tremendous pressure to make some kind of action against vaping products from health activist groups that sometimes portray e-cigarettes as being just as risky as traditional cigarettes. The results are an unbalanced debate fostered by misinformation and moral panic. On one side, the science demonstrating the value of tobacco harm reduction products. On the other, due to the moral panic over youth use and the false claim that there's an epidemic, the FDA is being pressured to complete a monumental task faster than they can. This forces them to not look at all the science and only consider one side when determining what is appropriate for the protection of public health. Comer, I wonder, did Skip actually get to speak to Comer, or is this one interviewer speaking to several people? It'd be cool if Skip got to speak to actual chairman of committees and stuff. Comer pointed to a recent evaluation of CTP's performance by the nonpartisan Reagan-Udall Foundation, which found CTP has not clearly set out the most basic elements of its tobacco nicotine regulatory programs. The Reagan-Udall report also quoted FDA staffers alleging in cases where reviews are finished and scientific decisions are made, they are also overruled by political agenda and pushed to change decisions. Another FDA employer said scientific disagreement is frowned upon, if not entirely suppressed. Wow. Hey, there's another one of our friends here. Public health expert Clive Bates said Comer's letter is a significant move. With around 3,000 cigarette brands on the market largely untouched by its burden and bureaucracy, FDA has been using and abusing its powers to squeeze the life out of much safer alternatives, Bates said. It has been erecting excessive, arbitrary, and selective barriers to entry and under false pretext of protecting youth, implementing a de facto ban on products not flavored by or with tobacco.
Ding.
Ding, 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 ding. Bates added the agency could wipe out vape shops that function as stop smoking centers while allowing nicotine manufacturers to flourish. According to Comer's letter, more than 8 million pre-market tobacco applications necessary to get an FDA marketing order for a new tobacco product have yet to be processed due to lack of clearly defined decision-making criteria. More than 30 companies have filed legal actions against the agency. Some applicants contend FDA's decisions are arbitrary and capricious because the FDA's failure to promulgate rules governing the PMTA process or otherwise to announce discernible standards, Comer wrote. Comer's agency wants to see documents and data on CTP's performance and its guidance to the industry by April 11th. What guidance? There was no guidance.
Well, it looks good on paper.
Anyway, we have deep concerns that CTP's decisions have been influenced by political concerns rather than scientific evidence. Indeed, stakeholders described having to guess what CTP's policies might be since they were not clearly expressed through regulations or guidance. This lack of transparency by CTP results in substantial market uncertainty and the proliferation of unregulated products and enforcement failures. Whew.
So what they're saying is that there is no standard that they can really go by to make any judgments, yet there's 30 health groups who are against doing anything. Huh.
Well, now, and I actually got to sit in the chat room of another vape show this week, the one that John Trincali does.
Yeah.
And he had some really insightful guests that were from think tanks and stuff. But being that I've been here since almost the very beginning of this nonsense, the deeming nonsense, not the vaping nonsense, since 2014. I mean, I've been vaping since 2010, so almost the beginning. But in 2014, Kevin, they announced the deeming, and they opened the initial ANPRM in April of 2014. The day after they released the initial ANPRM, they released what they call a financial impact analysis statement.
Yes.
Which was a 70-something page document. I have it somewhere on my computer. And in that actual document, they said, we fully expect that no small business will be able to complete the PMTA process.
Right.
We understand that. We have no problem with that. And we believe that 99.9% of the industry players will exit. Yeah.
Because that's the way we want it to be.
Right. Now, for example, for us as small businesses that have never navigated a heavily regulated industry, it seems like it's chaos and that they're not telling us what we need.
Right.
However, businesses that have been in this market since 100 years, so companies like Altria, companies like British American, companies, big, huge fucking companies,
do what they're told. Yeah.
They actually knew exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. And and they spent multi-million dollars on their applications, and some of them didn't get through. So,
well, it's got to look good.
Yeah. And, for people, I've been saying this forever. I mean, hell, Connolly said it in 2014 on national TV. This is going to wipe out the entire industry. Like, we've known.
Yep.
And as much as I would love the world to be fair and that everybody gets a fair play or whatever, it's not. I mean, this is not a fair world. The world is not fair, and everybody is not equal. According, it's all about who can pay and who can play. Mm-hmm. So, I fully expect that there will be some movement on these lawsuits, for example. People, capricious and arbitrary and all that. But they have their ducks in a row. And ultimately, I don't feel like any of these small players are going to win their lawsuits. I mean, in the end, they might get injunctions, temporary injunctions. But ultimately, unless Big Tobacco comes in and says, don't tell anybody, but here's a multi-million-dollar check so that you can sue FDA.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, that talking point that somebody had that somebody at FDA had promised somebody that there would be the skinny PMTA for the open market.
The Azar thing on radio.
Yeah, well, he said it on a radio show, but somebody has now taken it that was in some sort of official communication from FDA. That never happened. FDA never, in an official capacity, ever said, "Oh, well, we're going to give you an easier way." Because guess what would happen if they made a different process for the smaller businesses,
right? Oh,
then all of the big players would open up their fucking army of attorney Rolodexes and sue the shit out of FDA.
Yeah, there was a statement about that. That was not who I'm thinking of then. Okay, I do remember of it.
Yeah, he said it was
Zeller.
It wasn't Zeller. It was Azar.
Well, Azar was on radio.
Azar said it on a radio statement. And King Gottlieb had said something, but he never said we're going to make it an easier process. It's never
a separate path.
But they can't. They're legally defined as the same thing, so you can't.
Right.
It would take an act of Congress to make a carve out specifically for. Yeah. That's exactly what the cigar guys did.
Yeah.
They went through and they demanded a separate legal definition for premium cigar.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes. So I saw that on the show, and I thought I'd just bring that up again. Yeah. So, but I did see, and I'm not going to bring it up, or we're not going to show it on screen. But Malaysia decided to do a 180 and legalize vaping, and we're going to tax it. But okay,
that's right.
It used to be like you could get arrested for vaping in Malaysia like 2 years ago.
But what's your concession? Now, taxes. Okay, let's
yeah. We'll legalize your product, but you essentially have to admit that it's that it qualifies as a sin tax. That it so you have to make the admission that your product deserves to be taxed more than other products.
That's right. Because we like to tax less smoking. That's why. Thanks very much. Mm-hmm.
So then we got this Twitter nonsense here. Let's see. This is Maria Niera, and she's retweeting a WHO nonsensical video on Twitter. But since you sent it, I'm going to show it, Kev. This is all your fault.
That's fine.
So Maria says vaping is toxic. Break it off. Now,
how many comments are there now?
Break it off. I want to know what they're talking. I mean, do you want me to stab you and then break it off? That's what I mean.
That's right.
All right, put the key in the lock and break it off. I don't get that. But anyway, let's watch this gentleman here on his vaping Twitter video here.
Vaping is toxic. Break it off. E-cigs contain harmful chemicals like nicotine, a highly addictive.
Now, Kevin, their initial premise is that vaping is toxic.
Yes.
And it contains harmful chemicals. Right there. It says harmful chemicals.
Yes.
And then he says like nicotine.
Right.
Now, can anyone come up with a list of harms caused by nicotine. Actual harms.
Increased blood pressure, possibly.
Slightly. It's a stimulant. It could do that, but it's on par with caffeine. I don't see anybody making videos about the toxicity of caffeine.
Don't tempt me.
All right, so I can't think of any harm. Now,
there isn't.
They will say addiction, that it's addiction, that
again. Caffeine.
So other than making you want to do it more, or you know, that you find it enjoyable and you will repeat the behavior, other than that, does it make you, I don't know, intoxicated?
Rob people? Well, sometimes.
Now, Troop is being facetious over here. He says 100% pure nicotine is dangerous.
Can be.
No, I mean, if you got 100% nicotine, that's undiluted nicotine, and you were to say, dip your finger in the bottle, and you had possibly an opening on your finger. Now, 100% nicotine in very small doses can kill you. That's 100% undiluted pure nicotine. I'm not talking about 100 milligram per milliliter, which is what I order. Well, I actually have 250 milligram per milliliter too, but 150 milligram per milliliter used to dilute again in your e-liquid. That is not pure. What Troop is talking about is absolutely undiluted, pure nicotine. And yes, it is dangerous in that form. And I don't know of any consumer that can actually get their hands on that. Yes, you have to wear a rebreather mask, not an N95, but an actual filtered. Like, if I was gonna anywhere near pure, I would be doing that. Nicotine salts that are crystal. It comes in a crystal, and you have to dilute it yourself. I don't know how dangerous that is, but I probably would also wear a mask as well. But let's see. Let's keep going here.
Like nicotine, a highly addictive substance that can damage developing brains.
That's two.
That's an absolute that's a non-starter.
I was 9. I was 9. I can still
well,
tie my shoes.
Look how you turned out, though, Kevin. I mean,
I can still tie my shoes. So
okay.
I'm good.
Sometimes formaldehyde, which is a cancer-causing substance.
Sometimes when they turn this off and take the safety out, and they just let it.
So it has formaldehyde in it, which is a cancer. According to him, formaldehyde e-liquid contains formaldehyde. No, it does not contain formaldehyde. Now,
sometimes.
No, it doesn't contain formaldehyde. The byproduct of vaporization at ultra high levels can release aldehydes.
Yeah.
Now, not at, I mean, you'd have to be going pretty damn hot to get really bad.
Dr. F spoke about it.
Yes, it's like 700 degrees or something. It's a crazy temperature that nobody ever vapes at. And still, that
not humanly consumable.
The levels of formaldehyde that are released are very low. Now, another secret that most of you probably or may already know is, watch this. I'm going to create some formaldehyde. The human body excretes formaldehyde.
No wonder I don't like you.
In breathing, and also in the process of making urine, Kevin.
Ooh.
Uric acid and formaldehyde are created. Yes. So the human body is an actual formaldehyde factory. Yeah. We create formaldehyde in our bodies.
Yeah.
And sometimes formaldehyde, which is a cancer-causing substance. And here's how you seriously risk your health. You can develop cardiovascular disease.
Now, this looks like a dirty video here. You see that that humping motion that's going on there? I mean, I don't know what's going on the part that we can't see. But
Chicka
that
bow.
looks like bow chicka bow wow bow wow bow chicka bow wow.
Oh.
You can develop cardiovascular diseases and lung disorders. Also,
Where? Do you not remember a study that we covered like 2 shows ago, Kevin? Done by like a very prestigious pulmonary journal that said that they could find no evidence of cardiovascular disease, increased cardiovascular disease in vapors compared to people that neither smoke nor vape.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember that. It's the same.
I'm pretty sure that
we don't smoke anymore.
non-vapors, and vapors are at the same risk of cardiovascular disease as each other.
Exactly.
those who are pregnant should not be vaping.
Now,
Nope.
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 I have an opinion on this.
Yep, you can.
And
don't do it.
if you're pregnant and you can't go without your nicotine, it might be okay. Better than smoking for sure.
Yeah.
Just drop it down to like a 3 or something. Maybe try 0 and see if 0 will satisfy you, and the hand to mouth might be enough. But I mean, in a perfect world, no, you wouldn't be putting a stimulant in your body while you're pregnant. But
right. I imagine
can't.
I imagine in the olden days when Ed was born, caffeine was probably warned about the same way. So
no. Back in those days, I was watching a movie the other day called Dazed and Confused. You remember that movie, Kevin?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a scene where the kid goes into the liquor store to buy beer, and he's waiting in line at the cash register, and the woman in front of him is a young pregnant lady, and she's got a 12-pack of beer, and she's buying cigarettes.
Yep.
And the guy behind the counter says, "Now remember to eat something green every day."
Because it's a great film.
I love that movie, actually.
Yeah.
It can harm the fetus. There is growing evidence showing that children and adolescents who use e-cigarettes at least double their chances of smoking cigarettes.
Where? Show this to me. I would love to see this information. Now, he says there is, where does he go?
Growing
evidence. Growing evidence that showing that children and adolescents who use e-cigarettes are 50% or double their chances of smoking cigarettes. Now, Michael Siegel just refuted that in the article that we just read. There is no evidence to prove that. None of the statistical models show that. Even the National Youth Tobacco Survey numbers, none of that data shows that bears that.
The only thing that's been doubled in the past 10 years, multiple times, is incompetence from experts claiming all of these things so far.
Maybe in tobacco control math class they learned that, but
yes, correct.
I mean, the actual statistics do not show that. Do not.
I'm going to show you why in a little while.
As youth vaping, it did go up a little bit, and now it's gone. It's done this. It's going straight down like this, and youth smoking is also going straight down like this. Yeah. They're almost parallel in their decline.
It's literal.
So it's literally you can't tell me.
No.
I sit here and crunch the information as it comes in, Kevin. I mean, I do a fairly good job of keeping.
You're on the beat.
What's going on? and it's bullshit.
And so ditch all forms of smoking and e-cigarettes and stay healthy.
Oh, that's the only good part he had so far.
The World Harm Association or organization. Yeah, that
pretty much.
That's a bunch of bullshit. Let's see. Let's scroll down. You are toxic, says Terrin. You are toxic. Addie says American youth are smoke-free. Tobacco control nonprofits slowly lowered the percentage, but Nick vaping finally crushed. Approximately 20 million adults also use this harm reduction product to quit. Greater than 4% of youth regularly vape nicotine. 97 more smoke. I don't know what that means. Addie, what are you trying to tell us here? I can't. We could be a smoke-free society. I don't believe that will ever happen, Kevin.
No, it won't. 5 is my lowest. I
don't believe that. I mean, if the current tobacco companies completely stopped manufacturing cigarettes, people would still smoke.
Well, yeah.
Some people would still smoke.
They'd roll tea bags up or whatever they got to do. Yeah.
I mean, you'll still be able to go buy loose leaf. You'll still be able to go buy roll your own. People will still figure out ways.
Grow
your own tobacco plants in your backyard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Richard's got a tag here for the Safer Wiki. Then there's an advertisement. And, Tizzy is, I don't know what this is about either. Yeah.
But
Bud's
on that.
Yeah. So
it's
that was there presented for Kevin. Kevin asked for this.
That's right.
I guess he enjoyed.
Just wanted to rile Dale up.
Destroying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't blame Dale.
No, I just wanted to rile Dale up. He said,
Dale says that he thinks that smoking will phase out. Nah, people will still choose to make their own choices. That's what I think. I
hope
a smoke will continue to be able to be free to make their own choices.
There's a smoke-free 2025 that I got from, I think, Vital Strat. I don't recall offhand. Tobacco Atlas, and smoke-free will be. It just isn't going to happen. There are places in the world we don't even know about that are probably smoking, 20 packs a day. Who cares? 5 at the lowest. 10 is probably going to be my guess. 5 would be the lowest it could ever go. But that's almost. And I don't want it. That's just the natural progression of things.
I think people should feel free to do whatever the hell they want to do.
Yes, Kevin. Dale. Yes, Dale. There will be education that will do that, and people like you and I and Rog and Steve and everybody except Patrick. We don't like Patrick. Doesn't matter. What are you doing next?
Nobody likes me. I have a video. Let's present a video. You know how much I love videos. What did I call this show? What did I name the show? I have to find the folder on my computer. I don't know. I pay attention to you. Oh, what did Good Friday? Oh, there it is. Good Friday.
Oh,
Let's
Good Friday.
See. Yes, and this is called. Oh, okay. Yeah, here it is. Let's watch this.
Of their teenager if they vape. According to a new study, the American Heart Association finds teens who vape are more likely to report symptoms of depression and anxiety. Gunderson health expert.
So they're saying that young people who vape are more likely to report anxiety and depression. Now, you think they had the anxiety and depression prior to vaping?
That's none of your concern, Patrick. Stop asking questions.
Because I've been saying that, I mean, I think we've done a fairly good job covering this particular topic.
We are probably more knowledgeable than most are. Yes.
And I brought this again. This is a topic that I brought up in that Example Box show with John this week. That 60% of all cigarettes that are smoked by people that are neurodiverse, people that have mental illness problems. Yeah.
Right.
So they already know that people that smoke go to nicotine.
Yes.
So nicotine is not causing it. Nicotine is helping people cope with it.
Gunners and health experts say many turn to vaping to help them cope with these symptoms. They say teens don't understand the consequences.
Vaping leads to cigarette smoking. The difficulty is...
Again, sorry, Todd.
He's got a stethoscope. He's important.
He's an allergist and an immunologist. He is definitely not a pulmonologist. He is definitely not an addiction specialist, a mental health professional.
To your heart. He can listen to your heart. He's impotent.
Yeah. You know, I have to think that McDonald's that he had for lunch is probably affecting his diabetes too. I mean, as a fat man, I can make diabetes jokes.
That is no concern of yours.
I am not pre-diabetic or diabetic in any way, shape, or form. The doctors are amazed that a fat boy like me does not have that problem.
They're invincible. They think they're immortal. They think nothing will hurt them. So that's a hard thing to get across.
They say having an open dialogue is the best way to help your teen stop vaping. If you feel depressed or anxious, make sure to seek out mental health resources in your area.
I don't have a disagreement with that part. If you're having depression, anxiety, please seek out help.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's I have no problem with that.
Don't go to an allergist.
Please. Yes, definitely don't go to an allergist for addiction or mental health problems, please. Poor Mo, I think we're increasing his mental health issues himself.
See,
I feel bad that I'm causing him to be triggered.
We're here to help.
I'm trying to get rid of all these damn pop-ups. Somebody buy me an ad blocker.
The only way I'm doing that is if I get one and tell you.
This is from the Oxford Eagle, and it says e-cigarettes linked to hypertension.
Okay, well.
This was produced on April 4th by a writer who will not even put his name on it because it's so probably poorly written that he doesn't want to take credit for it. Let's see. One quick Google search of electronic cigarettes and high blood pressure, and you'll find yourself in a sea of information. E-cigarettes and vaping are not a safe alternative to smoking cigarettes. These products contain nicotine, an addictive substance that causes cravings and withdrawal symptoms. I'm still waiting for them to tell me what harm is involved. According to the National Academy of Family Physicians, nicotine is a toxic chemical. See how they like to use words like toxic and chemical to scare people?
Yes.
That raises blood pressure by narrowing blood vessels, causing the heart to beat harder and faster. Hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, can affect the body in many ways. It is often referred to as the silent killer because it can lead to an increased risk of stroke, heart attack, and other serious diseases without necessarily alerting you to a problem. E-cigarettes are the most commonly used smoking products, especially among youth, said Tiff Johnson, interim director of the Office of Tobacco Control, the State Department of Health. We know that tobacco and nicotine use in any form is harmful. According to the Mississippi State Department of Health, rates over hypertension. Yes, don't use that. Rates of hypertension in Mississippi have outpaced the national average for over a decade. Males tend to experience hypertension at higher rates than females. In addition to vaping and smoking, risk factors of high blood pressure include sedentary lifestyle and a high-fat, high-sodium diet. If you've ever lived in Mississippi, like I have, you will know that everything in Mississippi is fried. Everything in Mississippi is fried. The number one vegetable produced or consumed in Mississippi is French fries.
That's right.
Yeah. And, sometimes fried chicken. Vaping is an epidemic, said Logan Johnson, director of Mississippi Tobacco Free Coalition of Panola, Lafayette, Pontotoc counties. It has greatly surpassed the use of other tobacco products such as cigars, hookahs, and chewables. All Mississippians should be aware that vaping is not safer and will contribute to hypertension. Our goal is to create a healthier and smoke-free Mississippi.
Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Now they're not running any ads on fried foods and fatty and none of that. No? They're not concerned. Okay.
No.
All right. Mm-mm. Well, there's about 5 lies in that one. So
several.
Thank you for sharing.
Several. Sharing is caring, Kevin. Sharing is
daytime
caring.
Is playtime.
So, if you have been paying attention to the Googles this week, and you will have seen a story repeated about 400 or 500 times this week about a kid who was vaping and he had 4 pneumothoraxes. 4.
Oh, his lungs blew up, right?
Well, his lungs collapsed. That's what pneumothorax.
Right.
4 pneumothoraxes.
Implode.
Because he was a vaping.
Yeah.
And you will see another plethora, and I'm not even going to read any of these articles. I'm just telling you that it exists. Very good friend of the show, Bill, sent me some information regarding the 4 pneumothorax story. This is an old story that we covered probably about 4 years ago. It's the same guy. It's verbatim the same as a Facebook post from last year, which also shows it's the same pictures. The guy had other medical problems. But anyway, he has a burgeoning he was trying to be a country music singer. He was trying to start a country music career, and now he can't because of his. But the thing about pneumothoraxes, and you'll find, is that they are quite common in really, really skinny teenagers.
Yeah.
The ones with low muscle tone and skin and bones. So anyway, we're not even going to talk about it. But the other one is there is a plethora of stories about fentanyl out this week. School principals are sending letters home, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, I decided to go and do a little bit of information gathering. And there are people, there's somebody out there. I heard somebody say the other day that has done a lot of research in this fentanyl area. But I did find a study from August of 2020 in regards to fentanyl vaporizing fentanyl.
Okay.
And we're going to show it on screen, and it is in the show notes for the people that are going to ask me, about the show notes. So this is a study about addiction, specifically opioid addiction, and they're seeing if there's enough positive reinforcement from vaporizing of the fentanyl to get the rats to hit the button to vaporize it, and so that they can breathe it in. Okay. So this says fentanyl vapor self-administration model in mice to study opioid addiction. So we're going to zip through this real quick here. We'll read the abstract. Intravenous drug self-administration is considered the gold standard model to investigate the neurobiology of drug addiction in rodents. However, its use in mice is limited to frequent complications of intravenous catheterization. So they're saying is that they will put an IV or a catheter in the vein of the mice, but over time, those catheters get clogged. They start to infiltrate is the word, where they will no longer that it'll back out of the vein, and they will inject, or not inject, but they will administer, and instead of it going into the bloodstream, it just gets stuck in the tissues around the injection site. So anyway, however, its use in mice is limited by frequent complications of intravenous catheterization. Given the many advantages of using mice in biomedical research, we developed a non-invasive mouse model of opioid self-administration using vaporized fentanyl. Mice readily self-administered fentanyl vapor, titrating their drug intake and exhibiting addiction-like behaviors, including escalation of drug intake, somatic signs of withdrawal, drug intake despite punishment, and reinstatement of drug seeking. Electrophysiological recordings from the ventral tegmental area dopamine neurons showed a lower amplitude of GABA B dependent currents during protracted abstinence from fentanyl vapor self-administration. This mouse model of fentanyl self-administration recapitulates key features of opioid addiction, overcomes limitations of the intravenous model, and allows investigation of neurobiology of opioid addiction in unprecedented ways. So what they're saying is that this is self-administered. So what they do, so Dale's not been on the show when we've talked about rat studies before. So initially what they do is they put the mouse or rat in a container, and they train the behavior to hit a button. And when they hit a button, they normally get the positive reinforcement, whatever. That's the same they do with heroin, same thing, drugs. Did we disappear and come back? Or are we still here? So anyway, what they do is they teach this behavior to the mice. The mice know if they hit the red button, they get a puff or they get the happy drug or whatever it is that they're testing. And if the reinforcement, if the experience is satisfying enough, they will self-administer. If it doesn't have that effect, nicotine, for example, the rats have to be forced to self-administer because nicotine by itself is not positive. It's not reinforcing enough to cause the addictive behavior. So what they do to the rats or mice in those situations is either A, force them into a tube and forcibly make them inhale or breathe the nicotine. Or if it's a self-administration test, they stress the animal out by separating them from their social group. They may torture or essentially, torture the animal by poking him or whatever, by withholding food. So then they'll push the button just to get the nicotine and the food.
Adding cocaine.
Right. So in this particular thing, they're saying that, yes, fentanyl can be administered as a vapor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it does not say that our version of vaping, that our technology or our hardware is capable of doing it, but there have been multiple people in the group, and I was under the assumption that because we have video of an executive with the health department of Tennessee saying that it can't be vaporized. But I found this study, so I figured I would bring it up because this is from 2020. So I figured we would have to look. So we found, according to this documentation, it is
possible under lab
possible.
conditions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're doing it. Whether they're using a spritzer, or I mean, I don't know whether.
A mister.
Yeah. So anyway, there is enough positive reinforcement. It is delivering enough fentanyl in a vaporized format for the mice to enjoy it and want to hit the button again.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're withheld, they go through withdrawals, just like regular opioid addiction. So I would love to be as factual as possible and say that yes, we were misinformed, Kevin.
Somewhere, somehow, some way, it can be done.
Yes, but again, not saying that like trying to put it into RPG and VG,
right?
Would be that it would work. So, but there is a way to vaporize fentanyl and make it happen
somehow.
So I saw this and I said, oh, well, I've been saying it's not possible because I was told it's not possible. So to be completely fair and valid and truthful, we found evidence that it can happen.
It's not impossible.
Yes. So I want to be as truthful to our friends as possible, Kevin.
That's the thing about vapors. We don't care about the truth as long as it is the truth, and then we'll have to deal with the consequences of that truth.
Well,
I don't care.
I care.
I don't care.
I care about the truth, Kevin. I don't want people to think we're
no. I don't care what the truth is if Dr. F suddenly comes out and says, "Holy crap! Take them down, turn them off, don't touch them no more." I'm going to look at that pretty hard. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and see, Michael, like I said, it doesn't say in there. I mean, I would have to read the entire thing front to back and see if they actually put information in there that said how they were vaporizing it, but I didn't go that far. I did read the results, and I did read the abstract that showed that, yes, it was positively reinforcing enough for the vermin to push the button. So they're getting something out of it.
Vermin.
All right, here, vermin. Well, rats or vermin. This is from the UK Mirror, Kevin.
Well, that's.
Swear to God, I hate these damn pop-ups. Former smokers fear returning to old habit if government bans fruity vape flavors, and we've been saying this forever.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Anyway. Nearly 1.5 million former smokers who have switched to vaping fear they could return to their old habit if the government goes through with a ban on flavored vape devices and liquids. Some of the nation's favorite vape flavors include strawberry, blueberry, watermelon, and cherry, have become hugely popular among children as well as among adults. See, grown-up people like things that taste good too.
No kid.
There's a big vape fair. And over 250,000 adult vapers, 27%, agree there is a real need to tackle youth vaping. I have no problem with them. We need ways to control the behavior of children, and it's usually a parent's job to do that.
Smack them around, tase them.
However, yes, beat the shit out of the little brats. They'll learn. So my parents did. Look how I've done every alcohol and drug and known to man. That worked for me, Kevin.
Happy days are here again.
I really would love, I'm going to have another one of these beers. Hey, today is the historical end of Prohibition. So in honor of all of our friends, our brothers and sisters in America that couldn't drink beer or whiskey or a mixed drink or a cocktail for 12 years. Prohibition was 12 years long, Kevin.
Because not one of them had one while those 12 years were carried on.
There was no such thing as a black market. No.
Never, ever would there have been anyone breaking any laws.
Laws.
Not a one.
I can't click on that, Addy. So if I click on it, it just shows up on screen. I can't highlight it. See, that's the problem with this Oh, you know what?
What?
Oh yeah, I actually have I have the YouTube open in another window, so I can actually open it. I opened it, but all right. Let's see. Ministers are now considering an outright ban on the sale of these fruit and sweet flavored vapes, such as Elf bars. And a survey of 2,000 adult vapors worry this will be detrimental to them, as 83% claim that flavored vapes like these help them pack in their smoking habits. But 3/4 of those polled, 76%, say that they had only begun to quit smoking conventional cigarettes. So these are baby vapors. 2,000 young people, new vapors. And a separate poll of 1,000 smokers found over a third, 36%, are currently trying to reduce the number of cigarettes they smoke by increasing how much they vape. Go for it, brothers and sisters. You can do it.
Imagine that.
Instead of a complete ban on these flavors, 37% of the 2,000 vapors polled are calling for more effective enforcement handed out to retailers who are selling to children. Damn skippy, boys and girls. If you can't card your customer, then you need to go out of business. I mean, I seriously have been asked. I you know how many retailers would tell me, Kevin?
How many would tell you what?
They couldn't afford to buy an electronic ID swiper because it was going to add like 10 cents to every sale or something like that.
You think a cost of doing business and the children are less important?
If it was me and I was, say, a big e-liquid manufacturer, I'd be like, dude, I won't sell my product to you unless you have an electronic age swiper.
If this is not common sense,
and if you can't have one, I will pay for it for you.
Yeah.
See, now Michael says then you just manually check IDs. Now the problem with that is that most of the state laws that are written for verification, if someone comes and buys from you and you sell it to them and later on you find out that they had a fake ID or whatever, if you don't have an electronic record of that sale and the swiping of their ID, then you have no defense. You have no practical defense. Now, if you have an electronic age verification machine, every swipe gets recorded. Every sale gets recorded. So then later on, if somebody says, hey, you sold to a kid, I can say, you know what? I have a record of every sale. Every sale comes with an ID check, and I never
anybody underage.
Yeah,
you can identify anybody underage with a big black eye coming out of my shop.
Yeah. So Dale doesn't really know what my opinion is on this SINAR nonsense.
Oh, quit your whining, Patrick.
No politician
cares
on a state level or on a federal level gives a flying shit about the SINAR amendment. Not a single one of them. If you bring it up to them, they glaze over. They start to drool out of their face. They do not care. It is a non-starter for them. As far as they're concerned, if you buy beer or tobacco in a convenience store or a grocery store or a drugstore here in Texas, every sale has to be swiped. Their point of sale system will not complete the sale until that ID is swiped. And until vape shops get professional like those businesses, they're going to always beat this over our head every time. And at this point, they've beat it around our head so much you have no active defense though if you don't have an electronic swiper. None. We are supportive of attempts to eradicate youth smoking. Having banned flavors could have a negative impact on those who are attempting to quit. Yes. Often with these types of policies, trying to stamp out one problem can cause another, and it shows many adult vapors are concerned about what they are hearing from the government. The survey has shown many fear such a change and could lead them back to smoking, meaning nearly 1.5 million current vapers across the UK could return to conventional cigarettes based on the number of adult vape users reported by the Office of National Statistics last year. The research conducted via onepoll.com also revealed that other more unusual flavor preferences for adults who vape include lychee, Earl Grey, and even a Bloody Mary. I get the lychee, and I've had multiple tea vapes, but a Bloody Mary, I'm thinking a tomato flavored or tomato based vape would be pretty awful. Just thinking. Now, I'll drink the shit out of an actual Bloody Mary, though, but yeah, I'm not going to vape it. Tobacco menthol flavorings are the most common ones quitters turn to, although 65% don't receive any advice on the best flavors to keep them on their quest to give up smoking. And 83% think this guidance would be an important part of the quit journey. They have really good tobacco programs over there, Kevin. Granny Louisa and all those people over there.
Yes. She's a
goat.
They got oh, gee.
I don't know if I agree with you calling a lady a goat on this show, Kevin.
She would be fine with it.
See,
you see this? You see this behind me? Who came up with this?
Not you.
Another beautiful lady.
I just came up with the idea of making a video, and then Andrew came up with the idea of making a glow in the dark band.
Who came up with the name? Who came up with the phrase?
Michael says he's never been in a liquor or convenience store that swipes IDs. Well, you're not in Texas then, because it is required. Required.
Ohio, I think, has a sign that says if you look under 45, or if we think you're under, whatever it says, some stupid fucking thing, but it doesn't work. So
yeah. Anyway, of those who are using vapes to cut back on their cigarette smoking, 3/4 are confident this will help them be successful on their quit journey. John Dunn added, it is important to offer those who are trying to quit smoking the appropriate advice, including flavors to support them during the process. We know that going cold turkey is not an option for many, and it shows a considerable amount of having success with flavored vapes to help reduce and ultimately cut out their reliance on cigarettes.
Yeah.
Now we know, Kevin, that cold turkey is as effective. 8% of people that quit smoking do so cold turkey.
Yeah, basically.
So we know that 8% is higher than 6% or even 7%, depending on what studies you're reading. That is how successful NRTs are. So they're saying that NRTs are not as effective as doing nothing.
What I'm thinking is the cold turkey numbers are probably skewed by the people who die of a heart attack. And they quit smoking. Look at that. Told you I'd quit, right?
Yeah.
So
I just think that if you're selling booze, if you're selling tobacco,
any adult product,
you need to probably be smart and put in place an active defense by ID swipe and everything. And it's in a module that you can add right to your POS. And it will not complete the sale until a successful ID swipe is performed. So, what? Addie sent me a link from 2021.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I just want to make an announcement. I went to the Dollar Tree and I got these grandpa straps. I like them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, kind of nice.
We had old lady teachers when I was in school that actually had those too.
Yeah, the chains. Yeah.
And they had their
my damn glasses.
What's it called? They had the pussycat frames. Now class.
That's right. Well, I need to read more than I think sometimes. So now they are here and they are available. I don't have to look on the floor or bend over to get them or nothing.
I put them in the same place. Like when I get up from here after the show, I'm going to take them off. I'm going to put them in exactly the same place that I put them every night.
I'm not saying on my desk, Goofy. I'm saying when I'm walking around picking shit up, they go clang on the floor.
Well, you need new glasses.
When I have them clipped to my shirt, pay attention.
Damn, Kevin.
Shut up.
Why are you so aggressive tonight?
Class.
Shut up.
Is that your reference, Troop?
Let's see. What are we going to call here? Here, let's watch this video, Kevin.
All right. I'm ready.
Go really gently with you. Psychologist Donna Stambulage treats adolescents for substance abuse. She says increasingly addiction to vaping is a factor.
Generally speaking, e-cigarettes will go hand in hand with something, not quite right with, the young person.
Not quite right. So she's just saying.
Elephant?
So she's just saying right there. She just said that people that vape are mentally,
not quite right with.
That's another way of saying neurodiverse. That's another way of saying mentally ill.
The young person in their life. So it could be, social isolation, anxiety, depression.
She's found young girls with body image issues are especially vulnerable.
Lots of girls coming in, adolescent girls with body dysmorphia, eating disorders, and thinking that having an e-cigarette is going to decrease their appetite.
It's illegal to sell vapes to children in Australia, and you need a doctor's prescription to buy vapes with nicotine. Yet they're being open.
But no. If you make something illegal, it will definitely not create a black market.
No, we were told and promised.
It's never gonna. No. It's never gonna happen.
Sold to young people in a thriving black market. Professor Johnine Jancy has led a study that spoke to about 70 teachers, parents and students at schools in Western Australia, where there were 570 vaping-related suspensions in state schools in the first 5 weeks of term.
They're saying that young people, even in grade 7, are using vapes right through to year 12.
Now, all of these talking points, Kevin, every one of these talking points were talking points that they were using here 2 years ago.
Yes, exactly. So
every
single one.
Every one of these. I feel bad for our Aussie friends because they're just getting our leftovers. I feel bad. Sorry. Our asinine tobacco control people are coming over there. Mm-hmm. But they've also started to go to the UK as well. The same talking points. They're all showing up over there now.
Study heard that school students are buying vapes online or from shops using code words. Some said they were vaping to reduce their stress and anxiety, wrongly believing that vaping is relatively harmless.
It is relatively harmless.
Well, this guy's going to differ.
A big breath in.
But doctors say while the long-term impact's still unclear, they already know vaping damages lungs.
It's not clear. It's not unclear.
Not according to my chest x-rays.
Cause an increase in inflammation in the lung. They cause an increase in the stickiness of bacteria to the airway wall.
Patrick, make it stop, please.
The stickiness.
Stickiness. Did you put your fucking finger in somebody's lung?
It makes your lungs more moist.
Oh my god.
That's what he's gonna say. Moist.
This is worse.
So people are more likely to get infections, and infections are more likely to be severe.
Patrick.
Now, Kevin, I used to get bronchitis every year, like clockwork, twice a year. Almost, I could mark it on the calendar.
Yeah.
And having not smoked for over a decade now.
Yeah.
And only vaping to get my nicotine because I enjoy nicotine. I have not had a single infection in my lungs. I have not had a single, not one case of bronchitis. I haven't even had the common cold.
Well, I've had those. I've had
in 10 years.
About the same as I always did.
I did get influenza A.
Yeah.
Like 4 years ago, the year before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Before the COVID, I had influenza A. But I didn't even have the respiratory problems. I just had a fever and then chills, and then a fever and then chills for like 4 days.
Yeah.
But I was not coughing. I was not sneezing. I didn't have any breathing problems. I was just overheating and then shivering, and then overheating and then shivering.
Tell me more about these sticky lungs. Can I get some?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
The federal government says it's working with the states to strengthen regulations around vaping. Claire Moody, ABC News.
Sticky fucking lungs. Mine kind of slosh on Tuesdays, right? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah.
They get away with it. Well, they don't here.
Sticky lungs.
Sticky bacteria infected bombs.
I've heard of sticky bombs.
Oh,
I mean, World War II, they use these sticky bombs, but
yeah. 8675309. Oh my God!
Here, this is a tweet. This is a tweet that you sent us, so you have to contextualize this tweet.
Is it that I'm ready? Is it Neil's having what looked possibly could, may, might, or whatever be modally a discussion with Clive, or Clive started it with him. I don't recall which. It came up from the crazy woman up at the top. Yeah. So she says they may be beneficial for smokers who use them to completely and promptly quit smoking. But so you can go back down to Neil's other tweet. And I literally said that I had to read it 3 times because what he's saying, among other things, and others said so, in the eyes of the public, tobacco control is willing to be responsible, I'm reading, for the continued increased rate of smoking for all future generations by irresponsible innuendo, regulation, restriction, tax, and ban. That's all I can figure out of that tweet. What do you take from that?
Okay,
Patrick?
so he says it's difficult for the tobacco control community to support smoke-free products because in the eyes of the public, we will then become responsible for the increased use of nicotine products among young adults and the consequences in the future.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is well, we kind of know that vaping is way better than smoking, but we're afraid that then nicotine addicts are going to happen and people will just continue to vape and be happy.
No, you can,
and since I'm not a very smart person, Neil's just saying, because he's a PhD in chemistry, which means that now if it said biochemistry, I would be more impressed. He's a PhD in chemistry, which means that he knows what the chemicals are, but a biochemist will tell you what the chemicals do.
Yeah, 10 minutes to Popper.
So he's saying that he's not smart enough to realize that the consequences in the future will be extremely mild.
Yeah,
but we don't want anybody to think, because we've been saying for 10 years we don't know what's in it and we don't have enough long-term research and blah 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 blah. Now he would have to say, well, we do know what's in it, and we're quite positive that the consequences of use are going to be very low, and people should quit with vaping. But even though they're going to probably end up enjoying nicotine and probably want to use it forever.
Let me warn the audience to cover everyone's ears that doesn't want to hear the cuss words that are language enhancers. If he's a pussy and he's got no balls, then that's kind of where I'm going with it. There was quite a few replies that were really well worth it. I should have highlighted each, and there were quote tweets that were also as well. But
so Clive nails it here. He says, but that position unintentionally amounts to defending the cigarette trade from the innovation that would otherwise destroy it. whatever the optics, that's what tobacco control really would be responsible for.
Right.
So as long as you don't push a safer alternative, people will continue to use the unsafe alternative, the unsafe product. And
Michael,
they're not willing to take the responsibility for that. I promise you that. And then
Correct.
Richard, our very good friend Richard, who's been on the show a couple times, says, "Hi, public here. Personally, I have little problem with people choosing to use nicotine, theobromine, or caffeine. All are very close in risk and dependency profiles as long as they don't smoke."
Yep.
So yeah, this guy didn't respond after that.
No, he got quiet. Maybe he's second thinking his position.
He got a
Dale.
little embarrassed. He got a little embarrassed because people
John
realized.
John is right. Clive nailed it.
Yes,
Clive
Clive
nailed it.
So then, and then, Kevin, you sent another tweet. You're just like on
What?
fire with self promotion this week, man.
I did want to self-promote.
Yeah. So you're dunking on the governor of New York here.
Fuck her. Fuck the New York governor.
So
So
she says here, it's time to stand up to big tobacco and end the sale of flavored tobacco products.
that's right.
And there's a link
Isn't that
to a
already-
story about her.
Didn't it already?
Or about
Didn't they already ban them? I swear to God, they already did this in New York.
Well, look at all these advertisements for Newports and Camels and Juuls.
Well, that
and
too.
American Spirit in this article that she's retweeting.
He responded to this. Ooh. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So then here's a picture of a collage. So this is the governor of New York with a bunch of sweets and candies and cookies at a Buffalo Bills tailgating, and then there's a picture of her with a cup of coffee, which we don't know, Kevin. It could just be that could be an Americano. That could just be plain old black coffee. Starbucks has plain black coffee, dumbass.
I know that, but it's Starbucks. 80,000 plus flavors.
They don't have 80,000 plus flavors, dummy.
That's what it says.
And
look at the Valentine. And maple syrup. What could be sweeter than maple syrup besides me or honey?
I'm just defending the coffee.
I don't care.
We should not be bashing on coffee on this show, Kevin. You're currently drinking coffee right now.
Oh, I am. I'm asking what flavor.
That's probably just a black coffee. That's probably a latte. That's coffee with steamed milk.
Oh.
She doesn't look like a basic,
latte.
Do they still have the basic bitch out? No, it's only at Christmas time.
I don't know any of that.
Yeah, they only have the fall flavor.
Maple syrup didn't do anything wrong.
All right. Yeah.
Can you imagine like 800,000 bottles of apple juice or whatever that maple syrup crap is? I do like real maple syrup.
I can't. I was watching something about maple syrup the other day, and they were talking about the cartel. They have a maple syrup cartel in Canada that controls the production of maple syrup, and they tell the independent maple syrup people how many bottles of maple syrup they're allowed to produce.
Mm-hmm. Big sugar, big corn syrup.
Yeah. All right. So then here is yet another Kevin tweet.
No way. Really?
Yes. Like I said, you keep cut and pasting your own Twitters, your only tweets.
That cracked me up. So Vital Strategies says
that's a Bloomberg funded group.
They allege Vapor Owls and they allege that they're providing $209,000 grant to address substance abuse and opioid abuse disorder, prevention, treatment, recovery, harm reduction, and awareness in communities in North Carolina. And they used a vaping shop as a photo. I think that's wonderful. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
It's a vape shop.
I'm trying to see. I can't read the name there. Something Vapor. But yeah, this is definitely a vape shop.
Oh, yes. It's a reversed image. Or it's...
Well, no, it's on the door. It's on the outside of the door. So it's backwards because you're looking through the inside of the door.
Yeah.
But I can't see. I can't see what this is down here. I'd have to open it. I'd have to open it in a new image and see if I can zoom in on it. Let's see.
Oh, look at you.
Well, there's Surf. I know Lonnie Bozeman. That's one of Lonnie Bozeman's companies.
Who knows? Either way,
these are probably disposables in boxes or something.
And honestly, it looks like a reporter talking to a vape shop guy. I don't know what it is, and I don't care. But they use a vape shop photo, and I love that even more.
Connect without stigma.
Oh, imagine that. So Vital Strategies made a boo-boo. I'm sure they didn't want to use a vape shop.
Oh, Juka says, nice. Now stop opposing tobacco harm reduction. Just say no to Bloomberg paying you to oppose it, and you'll not look like such hypocrites.
Michael. Yeah.
There's Alex. I would, you did the right thing by. Now I'm surprised they didn't remove the tweet.
Yeah, I am too. Actually, I was hoping they would.
I'm surprised they didn't remove the tweet because they did. You did, point out to them that they're using a photograph from a vape shop.
Oh yeah.
While talking about a grant for harm reduction. So,
I was actually being nice. I want it shown on the record that I was being polite the whole time.
Well, no.
Well,
Kevin.
Sarcastic, yes. A little spicy, sure. But I didn't say you fucking idiots.
Okay, so a show of hands. How many people in our chat room are from Minnesota?
Where's them Minnesota people?
Well, I know Troop is in Minnesota.
Who think they live in Canada.
That's really Canada is just northern. It's just northern Michigan.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Because I have a video for you. Your taxpayer dollars are paying for something that you should probably know about. So let me show you this video clip.
All right.
No, I know you're in New York, Andrew. But look at this.
Concerned vaping is hurting your friend? Does the thought of confronting them about it make your stomach churn like a butter factory? Hey, we've all been there. Hi, I'm Norm Davidson, CEO and proprietor of 1833 Hey Norm, Minnesota's first and only teen-focused vape talk service. What the heck does that mean, you ask? Well, that means I'll confront your friend about vaping for you so you don't have to be the buzzkill. I've helped nearly 11 teens talk to their friends about the harms of vaping, and I am eager, I am desperate to help you too. My service.
Now, did Andrew and Troop spoon when they were sharing the bed in the hotel room? That is the question.
Are 100% anonymous, so your friends will never know who sent me. Yeah, I'll even tailor the conversation to best fit the clientele. Choose from topics including... Hey, Riley, very cool jacket. Did you thrift that? Hey, someone close to you wants you to put down the vape. Did you know that nicotine actually worsens anxiety and feelings of depression? It'll literally mess with your head. Did we get it? Hey, Jordan, love that look, super metal. Hey, you know what else is metal? The chromium and nickel from these vapes. Yeah, leads to some serious respiratory diseases, even cancer. Maybe cut it out with these things, huh? Haircut couldn't hurt either. So, this guy. Hey, Peyton, I hear you're into the...
This is an actual Paid
Holy
for by
fucking
Minnesota
crap.
Public Health.
Wow.
He's got like 8 videos.
Stick. You're not just polluting your body, you know. You're also polluting the earth. That's right. Vapes are hazardous waste after all. And if it's bad for the planet, it's time for you to ban it. If it's bad for the earth, then it's not worth it. Bettering lives has never been less confrontational. Still not sure 1833 Hey Norm is for you? Wait, there's more. If you call in the next 17 minutes, you'll unlock exclusive access to my catalog of conversational styles. Choose from styles like casual, really casual, coach, aquatic, Macarena, megaphone, hoagie, magician, undercover teen, and many, many more. That's a value of over $25.99.99, all yours absolutely free. What could you possibly be waiting for? It's like I always say, if you're concerned about your friend, have the vape talk. If you're concerned about your friend and your vibe, let Norm do the talking for you. Don't wait, say, Hey Norm, today. To order, call 1-833-HEY-NORM. That's 1-833-439-6676 or text NORM to that same number. You got Norm.
Wow.
They're not there. They're not there. Are you concerned?
So I found this because it was linked out of an actual article about vaping in Minnesota.
Wow.
This is a campaign that is paid for with Minnesota taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, have him call Patrick or I too. Oh my fucking word. That's worse than the Dare shit.
That is,
at least there was some production. This is like 1974 quality.
Well, I mean, I think it's purposefully looking that it, but still, yeah. So they turned it into a joke.
Which
so
is
are
the
they
joke.
really concerned with it? Because the guy said, "Well, I've helped 11 people."
Exactly.
So,
wow.
You know, I mean, literally, this could be a win for us because the people in Minnesota could look at this and go, "This guy's an idiot. Maybe we should be vaping."
Is. It's idiotic, completely.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that, Patrick, you bastard.
I know. Hey, I find good stuff. We have a bonus material, Kevin.
No.
Bonus material.
Say,
I found a video that you may actually like.
Okay.
सिगरेट छोड़कर वेप पीने लगे हैं और बहुत से लोगों का मानना यह है कि वेप पीना सेफ है। बेसिकली जब हम सिगरेट पीते हैं तो टोबैको बर्न होता है और डायरेक्टली लंग्स में जाता है। सिगरेट स्मोकिंग से हमारी बॉडी में 4000 से भी ज्यादा हार्मफुल केमिकल्स डिलीवर होते हैं, लेकिन वेप में एक फ्लेवर्ड सॉल्यूशन होता है जो हीट होकर वेपराइज होता है और लंग्स में जाता है। इस वेपर में प्रोपिलीन ग्लाइकोल जो एक फूड प्रिजर्वेटिव है, वेजिटेबल ग्लिसरीन, फ्लेवरिंग मटेरियल और निकोटीन होता है जो हीट होकर हार्मफुल सब्सटेंसेस में ट्रांसफॉर्म हो जाते हैं, जैसे सिलिकेट्स, मेटल पार्टिकल्स, एक्रिलिन और हार्मफुल कार्सिनोजेंस। तो वेप पीना बिल्कुल भी सेफ नहीं है।
See, you couldn't understand anything that he said, so he could have said nice things and you wouldn't know it.
I'm not positive because I do not speak that language.
No.
But it seems as if he was trying to be positive.
Yeah. I mean, it's not Spanish.
Pros and cons.
I can't tell what language it is.
I heard safer or safe.
Yes,
he said safe.
He did say safe.
So I can assume that was a pro video. I really not positive though.
All right. So
no
here,
teen
let's watch.
Whatever.
I got another one. This one will probably make you mad.
Go really gently with.
Psychologist Donna Stambulage treats adolescents for substance
Oh no,
abuse.
this is the wrong one. We already did that one. Maybe that was the last one. Oh no, here it is. This one. This is from Good Morning Britain.
The obvious question is, if it's illegal to buy these things until you're 18 years old, how are young kids getting hold of them? Because shopkeepers must know what they're doing.
Yeah, so during this investigation, we spoke to so many different people and a number of young people.
Now, are you clearly seeing the correlation between the gingers and the anti-vaping? Because again, this is the third or fourth week in a row that we found a ginger.
Dale, there's nothing I can do to stop him. I don't know about this ginger
as well. From my age, lower and higher, and I'm 14, so you're thinking people, young people younger than me are already vaping. It's crazy. Now, from speaking to these young people, they seem to be getting hold of these vapes super easily. You know, there's not really, it's not very difficult to get them, to be honest with you.
So how do they do it?
Well, it's not legal for them to get booze, but I know for a fact they're doing that too.
So in shops, there are some shops that are selling vapes to underage, you know, without asking for ID. And the thing is with vapes, it's not just in vape shops, it's in pizza shops, it's everywhere, you know what I mean? It's not just in a specific categorised shop.
Right.
You can get them anywhere.
You can get the vape shops on the high street, but then, as you say, they're sold in newsagents and all sorts of places.
All everywhere.
Yeah.
Also off parents as well. And also vape dealers in schools. There are people that are buying the vapes and selling them within a school. I mean, it's crazy how wide.
Now, I never sold marijuana in school ever, Kevin.
No, I didn't either. I never bought any either. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
Widespread it is, and that was one of the things that I couldn't get my head around.
Is that story that we saw there, is that a rarity? Is it unusual to have that kind of reaction?
Yeah, it is. I'll be honest with you, it is a rarity. But there will be more of it because we don't know, you know, what vaping can do to us, and I'm sure you'll elaborate on that in a moment because it's not been around long enough.
We don't know what it'll do for us.
Jeffrey, come over here and smack him around, will you?
Where'd that
Well, she looks
ginger kid
indignant.
go? Yeah, I hit the wrong button.
You know, use of tobacco, it's a long time. It's interesting what Brent said there, isn't it, Dr. Hillary, that getting it off parents. I wonder if what's perceived as the huge success of vaping for adult smokers trying to quit, that they're moving them onto vaping, you can imagine that parents are sort of pleased and celebrating, oh, I haven't smoked an actual cigarette for X number of months or years, I just vape. I wonder if that message then permeates down to their youngsters that vaping's all right.
Yeah, there's this perception that vaping is without risk, and that's not true.
It's mostly without risk. It's, you know, they're mostly harmless.
It's all in the wording, Patrick.
That's actually one of my favorite books. Is a book called Mostly Harmless. But it's not about vaping though.
We've only got short-term and medium-term evidence that it's safer than smoking tobacco.
Short-term and medium-term. So,
uneducated
what's medium? What I mean, literally, what is medium-term? You know, are they wanting 200 years of science before they'll say we have long-term evidence?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
So what? A couple decades is just medium-term, I guess, is what he's saying.
Long-term, the term long-term is a bullshit term, period.
Yeah.
But it's not completely without risk, particularly in people who've never smoked tobacco before. He's good, though, by the way, isn't he? He's so good.
I know.
Now, I have some evidence that shows that a bullet is harmful.
Yeah.
But then I have,
It is?
I actually know people that have been shot and haven't died. So then bullets must not be as harmful.
Huh.
Or how about seatbelts, Kevin? We've only been driving with seatbelts legal. You know, they've only required seatbelts for like the last 30 years or so. When I was a kid, they didn't have click it or ticket. They couldn't.
That was my seatbelt.
Yeah, I mean, my dad, the first thing he would do when I was little would be to cut the seatbelts out of the back seat.
And threaten to hang you with them. Oh, wait, never mind.
So, you know, we don't have any long-term evidence that seatbelts actually help people. So,
were you one of the children who stood up in the front seat and then you?
No, we were not. We were never allowed to sit in the front seat. We had to sit in the back seat. But I did stand up in the back seat. to look over my dad's
grandmother.
To look over my dad's shoulder, but only the adults were only allowed to sit in the front seat.
It's so eloquent. No, but if you look at what they call biomarkers for toxic substances that are associated with cancer and respiratory disease and heart disease, you can measure those in people who vape regularly or even occasionally.
Really?
You can measure them. So it isn't without risk. And we will see people down the line 20, 30 years from now who get lung damage and problems from vaping. They won't be.
Well, see, 20 years from now, Kevin will be 90.
And he'll be dead because he's like 80, right?
Well, no, my wife will have smothered me in my sleep well before that, dude.
I thought she already did a couple of times.
She may have tried. She may have tried. I've woken up in the middle of the night with a pillow on top of my head. So
I don't know a thing. I ain't going to be a witness for you. I don't give a shit.
Nearly as many as those who use tobacco. Tobacco contains tar, which is the carcinogenic substance. But
now, this guy is so stupid. So he says tar, like blacktop tar, like that is not what the tar in cigarettes is. And it's not a substance, it's multiple substances. It's the total aerosol residuals, right?
Well, no, Patrick, stop. He's trying not to talk down to us now. Come on.
So, but yeah, he's making...
Nicotine itself is very addictive.
Well, it delivers a charge to the heart, basically, isn't it?
Hey, I'm addicted to oxygen, Kevin.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's a substance that I like to ingest. It makes me feel good.
Well, yeah.
And I can't make myself stop.
I can't stop caffeine.
Well, yeah. I mean,
raises blood pressure.
It raises blood pressure. It raises the heart rate. It causes anxiety. Nicotine withdrawal can cause.
You know what my resting heart rate is, Kevin?
I have no idea.
Do you know what your resting heart rate is?
I have no idea.
So, he's saying that nicotine increases your heart rate. So at rest, my resting heart rate is about 62 beats per minute. That's when I'm just chilling, sitting in a chair, doing nothing. And vaping.
I figure 60, yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and vaping, of course.
But most people, your resting heart rate could be anywhere from 60 to 80 is normal.
Yeah.
So if nicotine were going to increase my heart rate, I would assume that my heart rate would be at least 80 to 90 at rest.
Yep.
If I'm hopped up on caffeine, it might be, But yes, my resting heart rate is at 62.
Quite unpleasant symptoms. So the tendency is to...
And that's on 12 milligram nicotine, pretty regular.
To keep smoking, to keep vaping, using nicotine. And what we don't want is young people starting to vape, who've never smoked before. I mean, why make it attractive? Why put it in colourful packaging?
So is it
makes money.
So vapes should be ugly.
Well,
because adults don't care what things look like.
Only the things that the governor of New York I showed that she likes should be colorful.
But this guy's supposed logical argument is that vapes shouldn't be attractive looking.
The tendency is to keep smoking, to keep vaping, using nicotine. And what we don't want is young people starting to vape, who've never smoked before. I mean, why make it attractive? Why put it in colourful packaging?
So is it the colours?
So now they're going to get colors, Kevin.
Well,
now it's not just now it's not just flavors, it's colors.
It's the flavors, it's the nicotine, it's the packaging, it's they don't know enough, I keep crossing out the lines and they keep coming up with the same shit over and over and over. It's illegal.
And the smells and the perfume that you think, do you think that as well? That's what's making kids think that, that this is worth a try?
Yeah, again, during this investigation, we was really...
This kid is probably the most unpopular kid in his school.
Is it Simon Chapman's kid? Is that who this is?
No, he's British.
Oh, well, that doesn't mean anything. Simon could travel. You never know.
I mean, this is some ginger kid that he's already got the ginger strike against him, and now he's he's going to go to school, and all of his mates are going to go, dude, we can't talk to you anymore. You ratted us out. They're going to jump him in the alley and beat his ass.
Really interested in why so many young people have started to take up vaping. And we put it down to a few main reasons. One was peer pressure. Social media plays a role as well. But two of the major factors is the colours, the packaging, and the flavours.
Huh. Well, it's not the nicotine. Huh. I keep getting confused, Patrick.
Is nicotine addictive or not, Kevin? Is it they like them because the cool flavors and the cool colors and not the nicotine?
Peer pressure.
I mean, for one example, during the programme, we look at a vape that's custard donut flavoured. I mean, what adult that's quitting smoking tobacco cigarettes need a custard flavoured donut? It's
Hey, Patrick. Hey, dude.
Custard flavor. I never did any donuts, but I did a buttload of fucking custards back in the day.
Did you know that one of the talking points 20 years ago, probably even up to 10 years ago, was that your taste buds return and you will enjoy food? Those were one of the talking points of helping you allegedly quit smoking. Can you imagine?
So he says, what adult would like a custard donut flavor?
Let's hear the response.
And is there any show of hands in the chat room? Who likes custard donut?
I like pie.
I mean, I like custards. I vaped a buttload of fucking custards back in the day.
Is it seen as cool? You see, when I look back to my later school days in the 1970s, I started smoking when I was about 14, 15, because it was seen as cool. You were sort of imitating adult behaviour. Smoking was still then glamorised as a prop in film and television dramas. It was seen as a cool thing to do, and you were basically acting above your age. Does vaping have the same appeal today to kids your age?
Yeah.
Does it?
100%. I mean, from speaking again to the people my age and the young people that have started vaping, it's almost the peer pressure plays a role in looking cool, is what they were saying. You know, if all your friends are doing it, you almost feel like you have to do it as well. But definitely, yeah.
Is it more addictive?
So much for right. So this kid says that kids are doing it to look cool. I can guarantee you that kid with a vape in his hand, a fucking $200 cigar in his hand, a custom stat wood mod in his hand, he still would not look cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Throughout the centuries and the eons, teenagers, youngsters have been susceptible to peer pressure and wanted to look more grown up. Is it still better to do this? Are there fears it could be a gateway to other things, including cigarettes?
Yeah, for some people it will be a conduit to smoking tobacco, to using other recreational drugs.
Bullshit. Again, this is the third or fourth time tonight we've heard this gateway lie. Michael Siegel addressed it in the very first article we spoke tonight. There is no proof. There is no empirical data. There is no statistic. There is no science that says that kids are double their chances to quit smoke or to start smoking cigarettes if they vape. I mean, not that we're promoting kids vaping. However, you're lying. But, a lie repeated enough over and over again, and people start to believe it.
That's the worry. And there's no doubt that some kids are vaping for the first time, and then they'll go on to other things. Having said that, it is safer than smoking tobacco.
And it's been a game changer for people, hasn't it, in terms of trying to
quit
cigarettes?
It is the most successful way of quitting smoking cigarettes, and in smoking cessation clinics, that is the number one choice that people use. So a third of adults still think that vaping is as harmful as smoking, which isn't the case, and that's putting people off who want to give up smoking.
Now, at least here at the end, he's starting to tell some truth.
There's more to the story at the end of this, huh?
But people actually have to watch the full, 5 minutes and 40 seconds into this damn video.
I'm botting.
Yes, you are. Okay.
In tobacco from going on to vaping. So we don't want that either.
No.
So it's about a balance. It's about, it's about, for your information, understand what vaping does. It's not completely without risk. You don't want to start doing it if you've never smoked anything at all. Why make it look cool? You can buy colours that suit the outfit that you're wearing. You've got flavours. But it also contains solvents. It's got propylene glycol in there as a solvent to dissolve the nicotine. Nicotine.
Solvent.
It's not a solvent. It's a dilutant.
Solvent.
This guy's not even.
Sticky lungs.
It doesn't break the nicotine down, you moron. It's a dilutant. It reduces the concentration of nicotine. Oh, dear Lord.
Is not a nice substance for the body. It's a poison by definition.
Oh,
Small doses, obviously.
What about physical fitness? Does it affect physical fitness? I mean, in the way that smoking did when, we were playing football.
No,
and
not
rugby.
particularly, because that was the tar.
That's
and,
the tar.
And that was the lung damage that tobacco.
The tar.
That tobacco caused. Nicotine and the aerosol from the solvent is not nearly as harmful.
Okay.
But not without.
So, Braden, where is this going, do you think? Where are we going to be in, say...
Oh, this kid's name is Braden. Yeah, he's definitely the most unpopular kid in his school.
Well, he's smart enough to make a prediction. Let's hear it.
5 years from now with kids and vaping?
Well, the truth is, no one really knows.
No.
I think more definitely needs to be done. I think maybe on the front of vape packages, like cigarettes, they have that warning sign with the teeth and stuff. Maybe they should put that on the front of vape packets. I also think that young people should. So
now, then more kids will collect them because the collectability of the gross pictures that are on them. I know that kids in other countries that have actual visual warnings like that, they actually collect them.
I think we should put a picture of Brandon on all the vape packaging.
No, Braden,
whatever.
Braden. Brandon would be way cooler than Braden.
Well, after somebody's punched him a couple times, just put that picture on there.
Learn more about it. I think a lot of it comes from a lack of understanding, to be honest with you. From a lot of the young people that I spoke to, they didn't really know what it could do to you. They didn't have any idea.
Nothing. It can do nothing to you.
Yeah, and they wasn't really worried about it. So maybe if we learned a bit more in school and taught us about the health risks, and maybe
you can actually break the law and not get punished even.
Yeah, exactly.
we had a few more lessons on it, because I feel like it's touched on, but it's brushed over.
Yeah.
I think a lot of young people using it comes from a lack of understanding, as I've said. So I think maybe to try and combat vaping and try and stop it down the line, as you say, 5 years' time, I don't really know, but I'm just hoping that more can definitely be done to try and stop young people from vaping.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't have any problem with them providing more information to kids. They should have the information. And it's already illegal for them to have them, so they should punish the children that are buying them and the people that are selling them.
Absolutely. Beat them, tase them.
Call me crazy, but enforce the laws that you already have on the books. Do not reduce access to adult products from adults. Just enforce the fucking age restriction. It's easy. Easy. If the convenience store down the corner is selling to kids, clap them, man. No problem. Yep. I don't get it. I don't get it, Kevin.
I don't either. I imagine if I saw a 12-year-old, or what I assumed to be a 12-year-old, walking out of the Speedway with a fucking 12-pack, I'd question it.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be the old man buying for the kid. When I was 12, that's how I got my beer. Hey, man, I'll give you $5. If you go in there and buy me a 6-pack,
Did you
I'll
know Ed
keep the
then?
change.
You knew Ed,
Ed?
when you were a kid?
No. Ed lives
You
in
got some
California.
patina
I'm
on.
never stupid enough to live in California.
Careful, you'll rile up the chocolate man. Calm down.
He's not even here.
Wow.
Not even here.
Well, you ain't blaming me for that fucking show.
Uh-uh.
Mm-mm.
Oh, here. This is a brand new one. This has been reported in the last couple hours. Let's see how. This is not in the show notes either. This is bonus. This is bonus content for our wonderful stay around.
Is this to make up
here.
for not being here next week?
It could be.
As a reminder.
So it says
we're not
here,
gonna be here next week.
tobacco vape store owner arrested and charged with trafficking and selling heroin.
Oh my goodness.
Now, look at this. This guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long guns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 handguns.
Yeah.
Ziploc bags full of money. 1,
I don't
2,
think
3,
he was just
4,
selling
5.
vapes.
6 high capacity cartridges.
Yeah.
For his AR-15.
Yeah.
I mean, the sad thing is this gun right here.
Yeah.
I could do as much damage with that gun as any motherfucker with these 2 guns.
Yeah.
You just got to know what you're doing, boys and girls. So it says here, after a search warrant was served by officers with the Tarboro Police Department at a tobacco and vape store at 102B River Oaks Drive, a man was arrested and charged with multiple offenses. A search warrant was also served at 1830 Lansdowne Road in Rocky Mount, where numerous guns, illegal drugs, drug paraphernalia, and money was seized. And then there's a dude with a really bad hairdo. Nadal Akram Muhammad Alwan, owner of the vape store, was charged with 3 counts of selling heroin, 3 counts of delivering heroin, 4 counts of maintaining a store for controlled substances, trafficking of heroin, possession with intent to sell or deliver heroin, felony possession of heroin, possession with intent to sell or deliver a counterfeit controlled substance. Alwan was taken to the... What?
It doesn't say that he was selling to children. Huh.
Well,
all right.
Alwan was taken to the Edgecombe County Detention Center and jailed under a $1 million secured bond.
They didn't charge him with weapons either.
That guy looks like a winner right there. Nadal Akram Muhammad Alwan.
Go back down to that list. They didn't charge him with any weapons violations. Right?
Well, these may not be illegally. These may be legally. None of these weapons.
Right.
I can't see anything. I mean, these at most it would be these clips.
But it's a tobacco shop that probably sells.
No, these
stuff.
were no. He was. It says that they went to a home address to get the guns. That's where the guns were. Was at his home.
Right. But the illusion is it's a vape shop.
Well, that's where he was arrested at, and that's where he was selling the stuff from.
Imagine my.
But the gun, they probably can't get him on weapons charges. Actually, they can if they can prove that he had the guns with him when he was selling.
Yeah.
So they could get him for possession of a firearm while conducting a felony, or while performing a felony.
I'm just that's part of that's the way I was surprised that it wasn't in there, but maybe they'll add those later. Pending.
Well, I mean, he's already going to never see the light of day. Literally, he's going to get a couple 100 years for that, depending on what small town America where he's at. Plus, his name is Muhammad, so he's automatically going to get convicted. Not that I'm in any way, shape, or form supporting that type of nonsense, but if he's in a small town, yeah.
Right.
I don't know where Rocky Mount is.
No idea.
But then there's, oh, look, here's another one. This one's actually about compliance checks and selling to minors. And
good.
She brought up
good.
He wasn't tracked. This here.
Good.
4 vape shop employees nabbed in Suffolk County for selling to minors, police say. So this one is a smoke shop, but this Nirvana. 4 people have been charged with allegedly selling vape products during a compliance check of numerous businesses on Long Island. The checks took place in 16 businesses in Suffolk County on April 6th. The checks were held in response to numerous community complaints. 2nd Precinct Crime Section officers said during the investigation, 4 of the 16 businesses were found to be selling e-nicotine products and or cannabis to minors, police said. So the following people were arrested and released with field appearance tickets to appear in court at a later date. Isaiah Ortiz, 21, of Deer Park. Employee Cloud Empire, 108 Broadway, Green Lawn, was charged with selling tobacco to a minor. And Anaya Jenkins, age 22, Central Islip, an employee of Venom Smoke Shop number 2, charged with selling tobacco to a minor. Garang Upaday, 55, of Smoke Shop. He was charged with selling tobacco to a minor and the unlawful sale of cannabis. And Nadir Ilyas, age 27, of Dix Hills, an employee of Nirvana Vape Shop, located here at the Turnpike, was charged with selling tobacco to a minor and the unlawful sale of cannabis. So I bring this up, boys and girls, because every time it gets brought up that vape shop, that kids are getting vapes, the inevitable response from most of the people in our community is, well, they didn't get that at a vape shop. 2 of these 4 violators were at vape shops. And since these are local police stings, these will not show up on the FDA list.
Right.
Because the FDA list is FDA compliance checks, not state law enforcement compliance checks. I promise you, there are bad assholes, there are bad people in this industry out for a buck, and they will sell to that. The Mohammed was in North Carolina, so he's definitely not going to get out. Just saying. Yeah. And it's not as funny as that cop from New York or from Texas that confiscated the THC cartridge and then started driving away and got caught on video token on the THC cartridge that he just confiscated.
It was an accident, Patrick.
Yes, that was an accident. That vape pen forced its way into my mouth. And he grabbed my head and skull fucked me
into submission.
Yeah.
Such a good video.
I wish I think I have that. That's in the video archive somewhere.
Lord.
But oh well.
Oh my goodness. Not funny. Well, good for Long Island to listen to the citizen complaints.
Yeah.
Good. Outstanding. Probably somebody's mom. Good. That's what I want you to do.
I think that I haven't heard or seen any evidence of New York actually enforcing any fucking laws in so long. That was kind of surprising to me.
If you're selling to kids, whether I want them to or not, they're kids. You're not legally allowed to do so. So stop it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
But
all.
hey, there is so much nonsense going on in the world right now, Kevin. I mean, half of the people I know are clapping their hands and they're happy that Donald Trump has gotten indicted, and then the other half of the people are like, "You can't indict our guy. We love that guy," And I'm just saying, this is all fucking theater. Is all it is, Kevin.
It's not the important stuff.
It's just another way for them to drive a wedge in between people.
Butterflies.
Each and every one of you that watch this show know I was never a fan of Donald Trump. And I am a fucking card-carrying, gun-owning, redneck Republican. And there,
well, among other things,
there's no fucking way in hell I would have ever voted for that guy. However, do I think that anything constructive is going to happen from this? No. All it is, like I said, it's political theater. These guys are mad at those guys. It's like these assholes. Now, I'm quite upset about what happened in Tennessee yesterday. So, again, I am a gun-owning, gun-loving, redneck motherfucker. But I am also a person that believes in this. I have this with me. It's always close by. This is the U.S. Constitution. I love this document. I don't care what anybody says about whether it's old-fashioned or not. And 2 of 3 Democrat politicians that participated in a free speech protest about guns in front of the legislative building there in the state capitol. 2 of 3, there were 3 politicians that were being punished for participating in a free speech protest. Now, let me tell, I have no love for their opinion on this topic, which was about guns. But I support their right to have that opinion and to scream it from the rafters, because this is what our country's based on. And the fact that Republican lawmakers in their state decided to use that as an opportunity to try to remove 3 of them from duly elected positions, I find abhorrent. And 2, they were successful in getting 2 of them removed from office because they said something they didn't like. Now, this is literally the first shot it's not the first shot, but it's just a very public shot in what could be a very bad escalation in the division of our country. So if Tennessee decides that it's okay to remove politicians that they don't agree with, if they can find some small little thing that they can say, this is grounds for dismissal, what other states are going to, literally,
where will
they
it go?
can use that as precedent in every other state, and even in, I don't like Alexandria Ocasio, whatever. That girl is mentally deficient as far as I'm concerned, even though she might be a little physically attractive. However, she was elected by people in New York. They elected her.
Right.
And Republicans could trump up some nonsense to get to get her removed, even though she's a duly elected representative of the people. So I am excessively disappointed in the Republicans of Tennessee. And this is a bad thing that happened. This should never have been allowed to happen. So yesterday was a sad day for our democracy and for our Constitution.
Yep.
So anyway, Kevin, how do you want to say goodbye to our friends? Because we won't see them for 2 weeks.
I think I want to present with the Victor share screen since I didn't use it.
Oh, you got to use it.
2 things, which I guess I can probably do at the same time. I'm not positive, so you'll have to tell me. The first one, which I don't know if I rubbed it or not. I think I did. Is that coming up?
It's legible.
Okay, because it's not about me or what I like or what you like or Troop likes or Mike likes or anybody in the room likes. It's what might work for someone else when approved or authorized methods fail. And I'm highlighting, I never say his name right, Bengt Weberg, who has the Swedish experience.
Steam-free snus.
Snus is another option.
Snus.
It's another choice, even if they don't like it. They can kiss my ass. Now, if I close that, will the other one show up?
Is that window currently open?
Yes, sir.
Then when you close this tab, it should open that tab.
Okay, so I'm going to just try it.
Nope.
Oh, dang.
So you shared a tab. You should share the whole window.
Oh, well, I don't want you looking at my Pornhub subscriptions.
Well, I try not to have my Pornhub open while we're here.
So this one is our friend Kelly and company. I'm not quite sure of how big the staff is. I'm not going to play it.
I think it's just her.
I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to remove this because I'm not going to pay them. This is video number 8. Number 8 of, I think, 10 so far, or maybe completed. VAEP info on YouTube. You're already on YouTube. Utilize it. Follow them on Twitter as well. Those were the 2 things I wanted to kind of, hey, it's not always about us and vaping. It's not. It really isn't. It's about choices.
This is about living in a free society, Kevin. Vaping is the platform from which we leap off of to talk about
less harm,
whether it's neurodiversity, whether it's about guns. I talk about guns. It's just one topic.
I guess I'm going to rephrase the question I should not have asked you anyway. In my opinion, for me, I saw something else on Heat Not Burn a couple days ago. If I had just now realized I wanted to stop smoking, and I saw Heat Not Burn at the local, Chuck and Puke, I'd think, well, I'm going to try one of them. It looks like a cigarette to me. And maybe I'd have liked that and never known any of you. I also wouldn't have known about snus. There's things that I forget. I personally go, oh, wait, there's snus. And there are patches and gums that may work.
Right.
Of them myself, but there's other options you can choose. You can put hot pepper in your mouth for all I care, if that's what you want to do. But there are choices for all of us to tell other people. Yes, Alexis. Yes.
Yes, Alexis. Kelly's been on our show. If you go to the YouTube channel, you can scroll down and find the episode where Kelly was on with us. She's actually a ginger too.
Yes, she is, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
See, there's good ones.
She's also a nurse. She's another medical professional that's in this world.
Yeah.
That I am in the medical world. She's in the medical world. And for those of you that are Alexis just made a comment in the Facebook. That's why the rest of you.
Oh yeah, Kelly does a great job, and so little users care. Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't get any. We tried to amplify her here on the show, and with her shareables, with her little shareables collection, the library of shareables that she has. That was like a while ago. That was like 2 years ago or so. That was a bit.
We should have her back on. I bet you would.
We should. I've been, I mentioned this last week. Eliana, is quite active on Twitter, and apparently Eliana has been up to some aggressive stuff, not about vaping. And I'm like, whoa. Apparently,
speaking her mind.
Eliana is a trans woman. I think I'm saying that properly. She's trans woman. And she's going after the establishment of the women's what do they call it?
No idea.
The women that won equal rights. What are they called?
Feminists?
Women's libers.
Okay.
That's probably not the appropriate term, but anyway, apparently there are a group of women that feel that they are being discounted with the inclusion of trans women in the women category. Feminists, yes, radical feminists. But apparently there's a group of women that believe that their arguments are being watered down by including trans women in their category as women, I guess. I don't know. But she's been raising some hell all over the Twitters.
Good.
I have expressed my opinion on trans women athletes in the past, and I will die on this hill. It is unfair to allow men who have transitioned to women to participate in women's sports because they perform at a much higher level, because they have physical advantages that women that were born as women don't have. And I will argue, as a person that has degrees in anatomy and physiology, I can argue the point that there are differences that occur in musculature and bone density and things like that that do give. I mean, there was a guy who identified as a female and had no actual procedures done. He just decided that he was a woman one day, and now he's fighting as a woman, as a trans woman in the MMA circuit, and he's crushing every woman that he's fighting. So, wow. And obviously the swimmer guy, there's the swimmer guy too, or girl. But again, you have every right to be what you want to be, but yeah, it's not fair to make girls that have been fighting their whole life to be athletes to suddenly no longer get the opportunity to win a title because of a trans woman who was an athlete as a man before they transitioned, because they have an unfair advantage. But otherwise, you do you. I will support you. Other than the competing in sports thing. Send all hate mail to Kevin.
That's right. That's right. Jan's birthday's tomorrow. I'm going to try to be the trophy husband.
So Jan's going to be like 35 tomorrow, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But you're going to be 80.
Yeah, exactly. How'd you know?
That's how it works. So Jan and I share a birthday month, huh?
Yeah, hers is tomorrow. Yours is next Friday. Is it Friday? Next week?
My birthday is on Friday. Yes, the 14th.
Yep. See, I was so going home.
I will be 1 year older.
I was I was going to put it on the cuss words or language enhancers. I was going to put it, I will not be here next week, because I wanted to make goddamn sure that you understood what I said. And then you're like, oh yeah, I'm not either.
I just ruined your moment.
Dumbass.
No, I'm going to let my wife take me out to dinner, man. I'm going to get me a prime rib.
I don't know what Janice wants. Probably just to leave her alone. I don't know.
Bunch of booze. I might buy a new pair of tennis shoes or something. You never know.
Yeah, she is getting a new office chair. So
Skip says that my best friend Mark, his birthday is the day before mine.
I do love Mark. The world is a better place with him.
I think poor Mark has been locked up or something because I haven't seen any of his artistic endeavors recently.
Oh, that poor guy. Steve said he's not going to be here either. See?
So, yeah, April 14th is a damn good day because
And you
the
know
next
what's
day,
weird?
the day after that,
Yeah.
is historically a very bad day. That's the day I have to pay my taxes.
My father and David Gorlitz's birthday is the 15th, just so anybody needs to know that.
Yes, I never had any good birthdays when I was a kid because we always had to pay our taxes the day after.
Sit down, Patrick, and quit begging. We got to pay this stuff.
I don't even get a birthday cake. I think the last birthday cake I got was like 10.
Yeah.
Because my parents said, well, you're a teenager now. Once you're a teenager, you don't get birthday cakes anymore.
Oh.
Go rake the yard.
I haven't had a cake or a card in 30 years, probably.
I get pie.
Right.
I'm not
Yeah,
a birthday
I like
cake kind of guy. I like having pie on my birthday. But they did just open a cheesecake factory here in town. It's only been open about a month.
Oh, boy. Why? Adults don't like flavors.
But, the thing is I've eaten at cheesecake factories in other places, and I never ate the cheesecake.
Be good to each other is my closing statement.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to
love you guys. Even Raj.
And happy birthday to Mark.
Yes, happy birthday to Mark. Happy birthday to Mark. We love you. I want you guys to have a great Easter. That's the day after tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do because my wife is working all weekend.
You're gonna dress like a bunny.
She's gonna expect food when she comes home. I have to decide. Maybe I'll do a brisket or something, and I'll barbecue or do some ribs.
You should dress like a bunny. That's what I think.
I'm just gonna do the head and be naked. Maybe get a tail, but other than that, a little cottontail. But that's probably about it. But so we'll see you in 2 weeks, boys and girls. Have a good one and enjoy your family. Enjoy your time away from us, and come back in 2 weeks all fired up and ready. Have a good Easter. So we'll bye.
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
The question, how does one man assert power over another? Obedience is not enough. Power is inflicting pain and humiliation, otherwise you cannot be sure. Power is tearing human minds apart and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. Power is not a means, it is an end. All competing pleasures we will destroy. If you want a vision of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new gods for their future security.